Welcome to Connect Academy. Reproduction in Organisms. Second PUC Biology chapter. Asexual reproduction. So, what is reproduction? Reproduction is the biological process in which an organism produces young ones, offsprings, of its own kind. The offspring grow, mature, and in turn produce new offsprings. Thus, there is a cycle of birth, growth, and death. Reproduction enables the continuity of the species generation after generation. So, there are two types of reproduction. So, one is sexual reproduction, the another asexual reproduction. So, the difference is between sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. So, sexual reproduction, the participation of both the parents is involved, male and female. It's always required the formation of the sex organs. Coming to asexual reproduction, the participation of a single parent is seen, occurs without the formation of the sex organs. In sexual reproduction, the meiosis occurs at the time of gametogenesis. In asexual reproduction, meiosis or reduction division does not take place. In sexual reproduction, fertilization takes place between the male and the female gamete, leading to the formation of zygote. In asexual reproduction, there is no fusion of gametes, zygote is not formed. In sexual reproduction, the individual's offsprings exhibit genetic variation and differ from either of both the parents. In asexual reproduction, since no meiosis, no gamete fusion, offsprings are genetically similar to the parents, so there is no variation seen. Sexual reproduction, it's a slow method of multiplication of individuals. In asexual reproduction, it's a quick method of multiplication of individuals. Asexual reproduction, so let us look into this now. So, there are different kinds. So, they are fission, regeneration, spore formation, budding, and vegetative propagation. So, the fission, spore formation, the regeneration, budding, and vegetative propagation. So, this is the slide. So, let's move on to the next slide. So, dealing with the first thing, that is the fission. So, there are two types of fission. So, one is the binary fission and the multiple fission. So, what is fission? Division of the parent body into two or more daughter individuals identical to the parent. So, the first kind, binary fission. So, we can see this in amoeba and planarians. So, division of parent into two small, nearly equal sized daughter individuals. So, coming to the multiple fission, division of parent into many small daughter individuals simultaneously. Example, plasmodium. So here's the diagram. So in the binary fission in amoeba, you can see the parent cell keeps on dividing. So first you can see the enlarged nucleus. So then the constricted cell. So then appears the daughter cells. So in the multiple fission, in the plasmodium, you can see the cytoplasm, nucleus, the cell and the cyst. So many daughter cells are produced at a time and the daughter cells are released as the cyst breaks. So moving on to the next type, it is the budding. In this process, a new organism is developed from a small part of the parent's body. A bud which is formed detaches to develop into a new organism. The newly developed organism remains attached as it grows further. It is separated from the parent organism when it gets matured by leaving scar tissues behind. So, in the diagram you can see there's a parent hydra. So, it produces a bud. So, there's a development of new hydra. So, then the new hydra separates from the parental body when it gets matured. So, moving on to the next type, it is the regeneration. So, what is regeneration? Regeneration is one of the processes in which if an organism is cut into several pieces, each of its part regrows to the original state. So this process is carried out by specialized cells called as the stem cells. It takes place in organisms that have a very simple structure with very few specialized cells. The cells divide quickly into a large number of cells. Each cell undergoes changes to form various cell types and tissues. This sequential process of changes is known as development. The tissues form various body parts and organs. So there are types of regeneration. So one is the morphalysis. So this type of regeneration has little growth and depends upon the tissue's repatterning. For example, in Hydra, grows by loss of cells from its end and by budding. So when cut into two, the upper part develops into the foot while the lower part develops into the head. The formation of nearby heads is inhibited by the head region. So next is the epimorphosis. So this type of regeneration depends upon the growth and new and properly patterned structures. For example, regeneration of a vertebrate limb. It involves the cell dedifferentiation and growth. The epidermal cells form a blastema. The blastema gives rise to structures with positional distal values. So retinoic acid changes the proximal distal values in limb regeneration. So moving on to the next type of asexual reproduction, it is the fragmentation. So fragmentation occurs by breaking up of the parent body into two or more parts, each of which grows to form an independent individual. For example, algae like Spirogyra and bryophytes such as the Mercantia and the Ricca. So here in the diagram you can see the nucleus, the septum and the spiral chloroplast is present. So this is a Spirogyra. So on fragmentation it produces two daughter cells. So moving on to the next type of asexual reproduction, which is the spore formation. Sporulation occurs by tiny single-celled thin-walled spores that are extremely resistant to environmental extremes. The spores form new individuals. It commonly occurs in Monera, Protista, fungi and algae. So next it is the gamete. So the next type, gemma. So a gemma is a single cell or a mass of cells or a modified bud of tissue that detaches from the parent and develops into a new individual. So in a liverwort you can see the Mercantia. So the female thallus and the male thallus you can see it over there. So there are the gemma cups. Then strobulation. So strobulation or reverse fission is a form of asexual reproduction consisting of the spontaneous transverse segmentation of the body. So it is observed in certain cynarians and the helminthes. So you can see the strobulation in Aurelia. So next, it's the main type, the vegetative propagation. So vegetative propagation is an asexual method of plant reproduction that occurs in its leaves, roots and stem. This can occur through fragmentation and regeneration of specific vegetative parts of plant. So the first kind is the natural vegetative propagation. So this occurs when plants grow and develop naturally without any human interference. Natural vegetative propagation can be enabled by the development of adventitious roots. So thus, new plants may emerge from the roots, stem and leaves of the parent part. The vegetative plant structures arising from the stem are known as the rhizomes, bulbs, runners, tubers, etc. The plants propagated vegetatively are given below. Stem. Runners grow horizontally above the ground. The buds are formed at the nodes of the runners. Roots. New plants emerge out of swollen, modified roots known as tubers. Buds are formed at the base of the stem. Leaves. So through leaves of few plants get detached from the parent plant and develop into a new plant. Bulbs. Bulbs have an underground stem to which the leaves are attached. These leaves are capable of storing food. The center of the bulb contains an apical bud that produces leaves and flowers. Shoots are developed from the lateral buds. So in this picture, you can see how the reproduction by roots, example murre, so rhizome. So next it's the corn, the tuber. You can see the potatoes, you can see the bulb in the onions. So the second kind, it's the artificial vegetative propagation. This is a type of vegetative reproduction carried out by humans on the fields and laboratories. The most common type of vegetative reproduction occurring artificially include cutting, grafting, layering, tissue culture. So, in cutting, in this, a part of a plant, specifically a stem or leaf, is cut and planted in the soil. These cuttings are sometimes treated with hormones to induce root development. The new plant is formed from the adventitious roots developing from the cutting. The second kind is the grafting. In this, the cutting from some other plant is attached to the stem of the planted root in the ground. The tissue of the graft become integrated with the tissue of the rooted plant and develop as a single plant over the time. Layering. In this, the stem of the plant is bent to the ground and covered with the soil. Adventitious roots emerge from the plant parts covered with the soil. This attached stem with developing root is known as the layer. The last part, tissue culture. In this, the plant cells from different parts of a plant are cultured in the laboratory to develop a new plant. This technique is helpful in increasing the number of rare and endangered plant species that are unable to grow under natural conditions. So, artificial vegetative propagation, you can see the cutting. So, how the branches is cut and it's been fixed. So, next is the grafting. So, where two different kinds of plants have been grafted. So, next is the type of layering. So, how a branch is bent towards the soil and it starts developing the roots. So, plant tissue culture. So, here the initial stage, the multiplication stage, then the root formation, shoot formation. So, then it is moved into the greenhouse. So, all these 5 important steps take place in the plant tissue culture procedure. Thank you students for joining. If you like the video, please share, subscribe and leave your comments down. Thank you all.